Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another review here on Pairs of the Mind. I am James Phoenix. He is Chris the Mole.
The award-winning Chriz the Mole.
Sure, why not? Anyway,
And we're here to review the Mayweather-McGregor fight.
we could.
No, I could.
Well, yeah.
I could. Nah, it's cool. It's cool. We're gonna do Disney.
Yes, our second to last summer Disney video here before the final countdown on Tuesday. We are here to talk about the special from the Disney television series Mickey's House of Mouse. For those not familiar, it's a general concept of what if Mickey and his friends like Donald the Goofy ran a nightclub and all the characters from all the Disney movies and TV shows came to hang out there and zany antics occurred while classic Disney cartoons played on the screen ever so often.
Not really a nightclub.
Okay.
It's more of an entertainment comedy club. A nightclub is like where you dance and with the lights and shit. This is more sit-down table restaurant view comedy.
Fair enough. The waiters are penguins.
House of Villains.
Yes, the House of Villains special for 2002 we'll be talking about today, which was a Halloween special when a lot of villains happen to show up at the House of Mouse that night, and Jafar decides to lead a cadre of villains to take over the house after midnight with a upbeat musical number, It's Our House Now.
Yep. Which is worth noting, doesn't occur till like halfway through.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. But yeah, it's a case of the beginning is Mickey and Donald and stuff comparing Halloween costumes to see who has the best. Donald is a red bunny, as everyone keeps saying, even though he's clearly the devil with a little pitchfork, and like, yeah, he's a red bunny. Mickey is a vampire. And yeah, they go through and they're doing all this stuff and they're introducing, oh, look, here's some Halloween specials, and they introduce an old cartoon about the witch, and that's fun. They do one about ghosts, that's fun. Eventually, the villains take over with It's Our House Now.
It's our house now.
Which, oh my god, this film is bad. I'm just going to say that from the beginning. I already knew this before I rewatched it, but it's called House of Villains. The idea is, what if the villains took over the House of Mouse?
Yep.
But it's a concept they only do for like 5 minutes of the film. The rest is all, look what Halloween costumes we're wearing, and here's some old cartoons. Which you could argue the House of Mouse cartoon is like that, the series, which is fine.
Yeah.
But this is a movie.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be a little bit more to it, I guess.
I mean, to put it in terms Jim would understand, because I know he watches it. Like MMPR, the movie in the 90s, didn't just follow the TV show structure or effects. They actually stepped up their game a bit because it was a movie. This should have done the same, but they're like, no, it's fine. We'll just do a 40-minute one or an hour and a half one, however long it is. And like,
what?
It's fine. Kids will like it because it's the same. And I'm like, it should have been different because you had a great concept. Like if they took over the beginning and then the villains to introduce some brand new shorts, all of it about the villains doing stuff like or parodies like Steamboat Jafar and stuff. That would have been fucking.
That would have been hilarious. That would have been great.
Like old cartoons remastered, but with villains to take over. That would have been brilliant, and they would have kept it the same. But this was just. It's like, oh, your concept doesn't even work because you don't do it for most of it.
Yeah, I think they got lazy because their movie was only going to be on TV, so they're like, fuck it, it's a TV show.
Was it only going to be on TV?
Yeah, that wasn't theatrical release. It was on TV and on DVD and Blu-ray, obviously.
Yeah, I thought it came out on DVD and Blu-ray first, so it was a direct-to-DVD film.
It may have, actually.
But I will argue, even if it's not, it doesn't matter before you start Wikipediaing it. Let's actually discuss it instead of just looking shit up.
Yep.
It's a case of DVD sequels. Lion King 2 actually follows a movie structure. Whether or not you like it, that's fine. even the ones I mentioned were bad, like Cinderella 3, at least they do something different and it feels like a film. There's no excuse for what they did with it. And you got Jafar there, you got Captain Hook, who actually does stuff. He actually grabs someone with his hook. This is before he gets nerfed in Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Yeah.
He does get nerfed in that, a hell of a lot. He's a comic relief in that.
He was kind of a comic relief in the original Peter Pan to begin with, even though he was the villain.
Yeah, but he was still the villain, and he still had scenes where he was threatening. Mm. In Jake and Neverland Pirates, he's just like a comical buffoon. It's like, oh. He was even more of a threat in Return to Neverland.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one.
I'm going to go on record to saying that's not a bad sequel. It's just not all that original because it's basically the same story, but what if Peter Pan did the same stuff to Wendy's daughter? But I argue, isn't that how I argue a lot of films are now doing that nowadays? Like Episode 7.
Pretty much.
Which I argue, if Peter Pan Return to Neverland came out now, people are like, oh my God, that's great. They're rebooting the sequel without having to delete stuff. They do it back then, and people are like, it's the same thing. It's almost like people have gotten stupid as society went on.
Yeah, that's what happens.
It shouldn't happen.
I'm not saying it should, but it does.
But it shouldn't, because if you look at like the standards of what would make good films in like the 50s compared to like the 90s or 2000s, we actually had more higher standards. They kept going up and up, and then they've gone straight down.
Yep.
Like 80s had some amazing films. 80s had a lot of great films. The 90s comes around. It's not like people stopped because we got like The Matrix and stuff.
They made Titanic in the 90s.
Yeah, which was a great film.
Yep.
2000s, okay. They were still good, but they weren't as good, but they're still good. And some of them were pretty good, to be fair.
Yep.
You cut to nowadays, and they're not as good as they used to be. Like, the cinema's gotten lazier.
They have. Which is ironic, because they've forced... People turn around and cinema got lazy, but they forced TV to up their game because now they're demanding all these complex emotional storylines and stuff like Steven Universe, and they realized that Power Rangers is apparently shit.
To be fair, Power Rangers is shit. Steven Universe isn't being complex, isn't why Power Rangers is doing as bad as it was.
No, I'm just saying, no, you missed my point. My point is that that's the kind of show that people want now, where there's actually, complex storylines and things, even though it's quote unquote for kids. People like the fact that it has complex storylines, it tackles big issues, it doesn't, it isn't for a kid. Whereas Power Rangers is still the same bland crap it's been since the 90s.
Yeah, which, to be fair though, I was saying that's not something new. Because like even when Power Rangers launched, people still loved shows like Beast Wars, which was complex, and Reboot and stuff. And
true.
In recent years, Avatar, The Last Airbender and stuff.
That is true.
It's just nowadays more people are getting wise to it, like kids. If you want kids to watch Power Rangers, you're going to have to really make them pay attention, because they can get anything they want almost on demand on Netflix.
Yep.
They got YouTube stuff that they might watch and all this other stuff. You have to catch their eye. Like Pokemon still manages to be entertaining and catch people's eye.
It does.
Power Rangers are like, I know what catch kids' eyes. Ninjas. You know how popular ninjas are nowadays? And people are like, no. It's cool because one of them's got a cowboy hat. No.
Hey, you left now, but they're going to be all over that when that Three Ninjas reboot comes out.
Yep. Which was also a series. The Three Ninjas movies, the first movies and stuff, when you were back in the day, they were actually entertaining. I'm going to go on record as saying that.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm going to go on record as saying if they want to reboot a franchise today, I'm just going to throw this out there because I know Hollywood's listening and they care about people who win awards. So I'm going to give my opinion. If you want to reboot a franchise right now, let's do Look Who's Talking with the child of the original baby. What? Look Who's Talking 1. Look Who's Talking 2 with the daughter, and Look Who's Talking 3 where it was the same thing but animals. Let's do it again.
Okay. I can see it.
Award-winning. But yes, House of Mouse.
Yes.
That's the Pez. Yes, House of Mouse. The House of Villains. The cartoons aren't even that good. Now, there's a couple of new ones which are good. My favourite was the one with Huey, was it Huey, Louie,
Huey,
and
Dewey, and Louie.
Who gives a shit? But yeah, basically those three going through and trick-or-treating.
Yes.
And they find a tree, and like, oh, then the tree sort of, actually, you know what? I'm going to do something I don't normally do.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear the sound on this, but I don't care.
Well, we'll find out.
Probably not, because it's really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? No, it's before that. There it is.
Ha.
Yeah, I literally recorded that to send somewhere, but I was watching it because it was funny. So I was like, why not? We don't normally do. I can record some clips and do it that way. Assuming that looked okay.
That looked fine.
I'm not sure if you heard it.
I did hear it. I hope we don't get copyright struck.
Why? It was really like choppy and stuff.
True.
Plus, I think you're allowed for a certain amount of seconds, because when they scan the whole video, most of this is original content.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That whole scene was like 30-something seconds, where it's like, hippity hoppity, happy Halloween.
Yep.
Also, copyright strike-wise, I don't think Disney's scouring YouTube for House of Villains right now. I'm not sure, like, oh my god, Descendants 2 just came out. And someone's going to stop, wait, stop there, yeah? Stop looking for Descendants 2, yeah? Get on House of Villains with the villains teaming up. People are going to go all over that now, Descendants. People are going to be all over that. Who's in it? We got Jafar, we got Ursula, Captain Hook, and other people are there too. But yeah, I just love that one just because that's funny with Goofy. He's like dressed as the Easter Bunny, hippity hoppity, happy Halloween, and it, behind him, his house is decorated to say Happy Easter. Not sure if the text was clear, but it says Happy Easter.
Yeah, it was perfectly clear.
Is it wrong? But recording some video clips now and again when we go to review stuff might actually be fun.
It might.
It's handy for certain scenes.
It is. Yeah. I just like that the credit of this episode, like they do on some of the shows, is bringing out some classic cartoons. Like, given it was Halloween, they broke out Lonesome Ghosts. That's always fun.
They did.
I remember when I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is the level of Disney Mania. I understand this now.
Yeah. Like, and you got the ghost one with Goofy looking in the mirror and going, whoa, and the ghost appears outside the mirror at the same time. You're like, oh, it's that classic. Oh, we're going to do the same thing joke. And like,
yep.
But yeah, like I said, as a movie, it's still weak that they've done that. But
yeah,
some of the original cartoons they do is kind of cool because for a movie, I'd want all original cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just want them to have put something in here that was like from something before.
Right.
Fantasia 2. Yeah. It's like Fantasia 2000, so shit. But yeah, basically with this one, it's a case of it's not structured like a film or anything like that. And I know people could argue it doesn't have to be, but it should be if it's a film.
You would think.
Like, I'm like, the villains taking over is really interesting. There's 1,000 different ways they could have gone with this.
Yes.
But here, it's more of a slight inconvenience until Mickey takes them over.
Yep.
Although Jafar introducing cartoons, we're going, oh, that's funny. And I will say that Jafar voice isn't terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to look up who it is now. We can see you're lit up. So, yeah. We don't have to keep looking stuff up during the reviews.
No, we don't. I just remember something I already knew. It's actual Jafar. It's Jonathan Freeman. It's the actual voice actor.
Yeah, I was going to say, he sounds way better than he did in Return of Jafar. I don't know if it's the same one, but he sounds better than the Kingdom Hearts Jafar by fucking a mile.
They're all the same guy. It's just a matter of, I guess, the quality of project he's in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's different degrees of how good he is, obviously, but he didn't sound good in anything other than the original Aladdin, And this, he actually sounds really good. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That's good. That's good.
Probably because he didn't have to do much in this, so he could concentrate on doing such a small part.
Yeah.
Really fucking well. Whereas like Return of Jafar and Kingdom Hearts, he has to do a big section that's kind of shit. It's all shit. So he's like, fuck it, why should I bother?
Yeah, in Return of Jafar, he had to sing a shitty song on top of it.
Yep.
But anyway, this is a fun little special. You can see a lot of, House of Mouse's appeal has always been, here's some classic cartoons, and you get to see a bunch of characters interact that don't normally interact. And this is kind of fun here, seeing all the villains interact for once, because you do see villains in the house every so often, but a lot of times it's just one or two, whereas this is a whole bunch of them teaming up, which is a lot of fun, because it's a comparison to something like, I remember the episode of the TV show, one where Jafar was supposed to be coming for some kind of like a magic show or something, where it wasn't a villain deal specifically. And I remember that whatever happened, something weird happened to the house, and it was actually like it got shrunk or something happened, or turned invisible or something happened to it. And Jafar and Iago show up at like the end of the episode, and Iago's like, "Oh, great, look at this! What's so late? The building went home."
Yep, I'm gonna have to go on record as saying this, along with a load of other stuff we've watched recently, may actually prove something that's weird.
Okay.
I think Scar's the only villain they're like, no, he's dead.
Interesting.
The reason I say that is all these team ups, even with villains that have been killed previously, come back, and it's all never Scar. And before anyone says, well, it's the House of Mouse, blah blah blah, they had Timon and Pumbaa and Simba and stuff in there constantly.
They did.
Which means they featured Lion King, yet there's no Scar. When you cut to, as bad as those games are, and I tell people to avoid them, Kingdom Hearts, when you get to it in that, he's a spirit.
Yep.
It's like they're like, no, his death means so he's dead. Fuck it, he's definitely dead. Yep. They're not gonna go like, oh, well, let's go back to a time when he wasn't dead, like they have with all the other villains, which is weird because why is Scar the one villain they're more than happy to just keep dead?
And it's not like it's an animal thing because Shere Khan is in that all the time.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be an animal thing because I've seen like Ursula's there.
She's kind of a person. She's a squid person.
And I'm going to have to say, people with no legs, if you're watching, I'm sorry for James Phoenix referring to you as not quite a person.
I said she was a person.
You said she's not. You said she's almost a person, or she's kind of a person, not fully a person. That's why I'll say, for people with no legs, I'm kidding. It wasn't a disabled joke. She's literally an octopus with she's an octopus she's an octopus with a drag lady on top.
Yep. Pretty much.
She's basically what if Pew had sex with Squidward.
Yeah, that's about right.
Best description ever.
Yeah, sex with Squidward. Ha.
Squidward's cool, but yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's like I said, such a weird one.
It is. It's a little unusual little thing.
Or the Scar thing. He may have appeared in your Kingdom Keepers. I'm not sure, but that's not good anyway.
I can't remember if he did or not.
I assume he would have because they went to the Animal Kingdom.
True. Although I remember one of the primary times I went there, they did get chased by Shere Khan, but maybe Scar showed up. I can't remember. There's been so many books. It's been a while since I read some of them.
For some reason, Disney always keeps Scar dead. And it's not like they don't like him either, because they mention him as like one of their top villains.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they feel, and people may disagree with this, and please, if this conversation sparks any sort of typing in, you go ahead. But basically, it's like they think Scar's so top tier that they don't want to put any other villains with him, or they look worse in comparison. Because isn't Scar the only villain to really have killed the main character?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because obviously, I know you could argue, but what about the person who shot Bambi's mother? She was in it for like 5 minutes. You got way more attached to Mufasa than you did to her.
Yeah.
And Scar's murdering of Mufasa was way more evil than that. Because that one's a hunter. You could argue he's killing for food.
Yep.
Sort of like Simba gets trained to hunt the antelope.
Yep.
when he's told to stay low and pounce and stuff, or when he chooses to sing the morning report. But basically, it's a case. Why? But yeah, basically, it's a case of Scar went out of his way to murder his fucking brother. Even mock him as he did it too, with "Long live the king," and just throws him off. And as he's falling, Scar goes, "Mufasa," and he goes, "Yeah, you're too. Even you have grown too old to die young, though not through lack of trying," and throws him.
Yes.
Possible and confusing him for Batman v Superman.
You might.
I believe he threw him off and goes, "Should I drop you off at the second floor?" Is it wrong? And now I want to see people edit Scar with that voice from Batman v Superman.
Nice.
I don't know why, it would just be amazing.
That would be amazing.
It would also be really weird. But yeah, no, Scar, he seems to be such a top-level villain. It's just an interesting observation, because they don't use him as much as the other stuff, unless it's Ghost Scar, Tank/Ship Jafar, oh sorry, Tank/Ship Scar, and all the other stuff. It's weird, because I'm sorry, Scar was such a better villain. And he's from The Lion King, which a lot of people hold as like the best Disney film ever.
It's true.
And even Disney put it as one of their top films ever.
Yep.
Like, I think recently on Disney, was it Disney.com or something like that, where they let Disney fans vote on their favorite movie? That won by a landslide. Which doesn't surprise me, because Lion King's fucking awesome.
It is.
Lion King 2 is watchable. Lion King 1.5 is shit. Timon and Pumbaa the show is shit, and The Lion Guard's a bastardization. But 1 is very good. 1 is extremely good. But yeah, back to this. I'm just saying that because it was weird he's not in this, because they got all the villains.
Yeah, you would think he'd show up. Kind of weird.
Like, I would personally, I want to see someone do this, and instead of it always being Maleficent, which props to this for it being Jafar, not her.
Yep, agreed. Oh.
With it always being Maleficent, it should totally be Scar. Now, I think we may have actually done it as Scar when we did our little radio play thing. Radio play/RP. But that's only because, in my opinion, Scar manipulated so much around him.
He did.
That was the way Scar attacked. In a fight, Scar was weak. He was the behind-the-scenes puppet master.
Yeah.
He should be the guy leading. He should be the one leading people in stuff like Kingdom Hearts and all that. Because, Scar's pulling the strings, and it's Scar's ingenious battle plans, which is a lot more genius than Maleficent, whose only thing is, I'm going to put a woman into a coma, put some weeds around her, and then turn into a dragon. That's not a great plan.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work out for her. Scar's actually works out. He actually becomes king.
Yeah.
He helped make the Pride Lands great again.
He did.
Boom, political joke.
And then Maleficent decided, fuck, I'm not even going to do that much. I'm just going to be even lazier and just turn my Raven guy into the dragon instead.
Yep. But that was because that version of Maleficent was too busy adopting foreign kids.
True.
And raiding tombs. And what else has Angelina Jolie been in? Bending bullets from Wanted.
Yeah, that'll work.
Seducing the guy from Gladiator in Beowulf.
Oh, was she in that? Fair enough.
Yeah, she was the hot mother of the Beowulf's weird. But yeah, basically
okay
film,
then.
Like I said, this film, it's weird. It's not that good. They really dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun little romp, but there's nothing of substance.
Yep. Which is also how I describe sex with Pew.
Oh.
If she ever goes back and rewatches this, she's going to be really like, really? With Squidward and others.
Yep.
There's no reason to be so mean to her.
There's not.
But those are like a million reasons. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that. Yep. But that was the film. Basically, it's an excuse to show loads of things, loads of old cartoons, some new ones.
Yeah. And bring a bunch of classic Disney voice actors together to do a bunch of silly stuff.
Yeah, but I argue if you got the original Jafar as you claimed it was, which it might be, I'm not sure. I'm not going to bother looking. Actually, write a film for him. This is the equivalent of getting Mark Hamill back to do a Star Wars film and just having him go at the end of the movie. That'd be shit. They'd never do that. I'm kidding, because obviously that's a teaser. They're planning that to be a trilogy. I'm joking with that. There's going to be more substance there. But this would basically be like finding out, I don't know, this would be like finding out they are doing a new Star Wars, and you've got the voice of James Earl Jones back, and you're like, oh, Darth Vader's going to appear. Oh, it's set in between episode 3 and 4, so Darth Vader can appear. And then one villain just picks up his phone and gets a voicemail. You've missed one new call. Hello, this is Darth Vader. Call me, and hangs up, and that's it. You'd be like, what a fucking waste. Come on. That's a fucking waste.
It is.
This would be like WWE bringing back, like, The Rock, just to have him walk out to the ring and go, hi, then just leave. No promo, no build-up, nothing, just that. It'd be like, no, it's a waste. At least do a promo.
Yeah, something.
Raise your little eyebrow. Tell us something is cooking. Do some sort of food-related pun.
Yep.
He does do a lot of food-related puns.
He does.
That's in between when he's not a bad CGI fat person who later teams up with Kevin Hart.
Yep.
I didn't watch that film, but it's good. It's actually fun. That film's fun. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, this film is just, no. If I was going to give it a rating, I'm going to give it a thumbs down. 1, it's way too past House and Mouse for it to be relevant, so I can't even use that excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you're a fan of House and Mouse, don't even why, because you're going to be disappointed because you're going to be expecting a big film. Because House of Mouse was good as like a little 15, 20-minute cartoon. But this is a film at the same thing. And even the TV show, I'm going to go on record as saying wasn't a good TV show. For one reason.
Okay.
If you watch a TV show, watch the worst episode.
Clip show.
That's the entire show.
Yeah.
It's an entire series of clip shows. This is an entire series of Power Rangers Halloween specials on Netflix where they basically look for a crystal ball and see what they've done for the previous year.
Pretty much.
Only it's not quite as bad as our clip shows, because it's not like, oh, we're flashing back to 2 weeks ago. They're flashing back to the 1950s.
Yep.
But like I said, it's just weird that it's just a weird way of doing it. I give it a thumbs down. I'd say avoid this. It's not good.
That's fair enough. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to throw it like a 75 just because the cartoons are good, even if it's, as a structurally, it's not that good. The cartoons are fun to watch, and it is interesting to see the Disney villains all together, especially with how many of them have their original voice actors. It's fun to see that little romp and just see goofy stuff like, oh, Chernobog is the doorman and Mickey is the sorcerer, Mickey is way back in. I mean, there's fun stuff to be had. So it's a fun little romp. There's just not a lot of substance to it. It's basically, oh, we're going to watch this and kind of turn our brains off. That's about the extent of it. So 75, I think, is generous enough for it.
Did you give it a 75?
I give it a 75.
That's higher than you rated this.
It is?
Yes, this got like a 65.
Really? I could have sworn I rated that higher.
No, you gave that 65 because because obviously we mentioned it wasn't as good as the original. There was various problems, but I was like, wow, you rated the clip show higher than the New Beauty and the Beast. That's awesome. Yeah,
this one also didn't have the same standards to reach. This wasn't trying to be that. Given it a bunch, it had to be the standards of this is an hour-long TV movie with a bunch of goofy things happening. No, not the character goofy. You know what I mean. But basically, it's just a fun little hour-long romp with some cartoons and some villain voice actors. It wasn't going to be much to begin with. It didn't have that much to live up to. So for what it was trying to be, give it a 75.
Yeah, I will say it did have some stuff to live up to because literally the trailers for this before it even came out on DVD. This was around the time of 101 Dalmatians 2, the cartoon. And you know
102
that because
Dalmatians?
101 Dalmatians 2,
Oh.
the cartoon, 102 was the live action film. But
Oh, okay.
the only reason I know that is the trailer's literally on my DVD for this.
Ah.
Which I was watching, like, oh yay! But the trailers for this, well, all up when you watch the trailers, are like the villains have taken over, and it's just hyping up the villains taking over. They've literally hyped up 2 minutes of this entire film
Yep.
as being what the entire film is, and I'm like, no, you can't do this.
Yep. Well, they can, and they did.
It's literally equal to WWE's Goldberg's matches recently,
Yeah, pretty much. That's a good analogy.
which we didn't like. Oh my god, we're gonna hype the shit out of the Goldberg match. 3 seconds. Yeah, fuck you.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
Just to
So
stay relevant with what happened yesterday, I'm going to say that was our TKO of this film.
Nice.
See, unlike Jim, I'm actually keeping this relevant for the Mayweather fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I get this.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is
Do you
a
have
look
one
at
of
the...
these?
No, because I don't waste money on stupid shit.
You've literally bought Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah, your point?
That would be stupid, Jim.
I buy very little Power Ranger stuff. Anyway.
I've had very little awards.
Yeah. Well. At any rate, this has been a look at Disney's House of Mouse special, The House of Villains. It's out there on DVD if you are so inclined for whatever reason.
If you do want to go pick it up on DVD, I will say, look, if you look on Amazon, I found it for like £4 used.
Yeah, it's cheap. You can find it cheap.
The disc was scratched as fuck, but it did work.
That's good.
And didn't skip, because when I saw the disc and I saw the disc was just so fucking scratched all over it, I was like, I was expecting it to be one of those films where you know, you like when you rent it from a library or for older people, Blockbuster, when you used to rent DVDs and you pop it in and it's scratched as fucking halfway through. It's like, okay, now I'm going to tell you the secret. I'm only going to repeat this secret once, okay? And that was the secret. And you're like, ah!
Yeah.
No, or it just freezes or crashes and fuck off.
Yeah, that happens.
It didn't on this.
No, it didn't, which is good.
So, so yay.
So we are just about at the end of the summer Disney here, folks. We have one more run, and that is this Tuesday we'll be doing our final countdown for the month of August, which is the top 5 alternate takes on Disney villains. So definitely stay tuned.
In official merch stuff.
Yes.
The only thing I'm going to say that is I'm not going to include like DeviantArt photos where they've sexualized Ursula.
Yeah, that's just offensive to Pew. Don't do that.
Because they will actually have those somewhere on the internet. They will have this stuff where, oh, here's gender swapped Jafar and how sexy he is on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, fuck off. We're going to go with official released products.
Yep.
And one of the other reasons I'm going to say officially released products is, for example, that shitty Robin Williams film of Hook. Mm-hmm. Really terrible film. Not Disney, I don't think.
It is not.
So that would not count as an alternate take on Hook, because to be fair, a lot of the Disney villains are from fairy tales, and there's like a fucking million different takes on them. So
yeah,
only official Disney versions.
Yeah, for example, the Angelina Jolie Maleficent would be an example of something that would count.
Yep, even though it shouldn't, it does.
Yep. All right, we will see you then for that, and more great things coming up next month.
Only on Pass.
Yep. He's Chris the Mole. I'm James Phoenix.
Chris the Mole.
Peace.
Oh wait, it's Disney. That's all, folks.
You're just an asshole now.